Haven't you heard? Spread the word. Manifestation is in the belief. It ain't the thing, it's how you look at it. Now that's thought healing. Tap into you.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. You know, as my grandson says, practice makes better. I'm going to be real with you. This is our second time. We came on here at 12 o'clock. We had such a wonder, and we see one. Bless your heart. Hello there. We were on time at 12 o'clock, had a whole bunch of conversations, just sister sharing and everything, till quarter to whatever, and come to find out wasn't even on live. So anyway, now we got two. Hey, you guys, thank you so much. I want to thank you so much for joining us for second time. Practice makes better. We're gonna get this thing going. I want to say thank you so much for you guys for three. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, and even being late and everything. God bless you. God bless you. Yes. We so love and appreciate you. Welcome to the Awareness Shift Energy Exchange, where we are doing some energy exchanging with my so beautiful spirit sister friend, Michelle Brown. Michelle, you want to come on off the mic? I don't know if you're on the mic or not. Just say hello before we get going.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Anita, for having me on your show. I so greatly appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to having this conversation for the second time.
Yes. We're going to be real with it. And thank you for the love. I want to thank you for that love. Let me see if we can do the comments here. This is new for both of us and everything. So I just want to say thank you so much for your understanding and patience and everything. Well, the Awareness Shift is all about, the Awareness Shift Energy Exchange is all about increasing our self-awareness and deepening that inner peace and just transforming, elevating our energy and transforming our lives together, one beautiful moment at a time. And again, I have my beautiful sister, Michelle Brown, here. And before, again, Michelle, please remind me, because I want you to give share where people can get your books and your upcoming project and all of that. We do have Michelle's information at the bottom there with her email and her website address. However, right now, I want to share the journey of Michelle. My journey has been defined by passion, purpose, and resilience. Earning a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology from Rutgers University was the first step in a career devoted to helping others tap into their self-awareness. Along the way, I earned credentials as an anger management specialist 1, neuro-linguistic programming practitioner, domestic violence specialist 1, certified mental health coach, and poetry therapy practitioner. As I said before, she has intern in parentheses, but that is no more. Girlfriend is a full-fledged poetry therapy practitioner. Congratulations to you, Michelle.
Thank you.
My training, cognitive behavioral therapy, mindfulness therapy, and trauma and crisis intervention enables me to guide individuals toward empowerment and inner peace. And that's what what this is about. Through my company, Anger Management Pathways, LLC, I support individuals, whether court-mandated or voluntary, in transforming anger into clarity and self-awareness. Creativity is central to my work and inspired the creation of the Lyrical Healing Experience, a program where poetry serves as a tool for self-healing and self-discovery. We got to talk more about the healing lyrical experience, Michelle. Remind me, okay? In my role as Vice President of Empowerment through Spoken Word Poetry and as a poetry therapy practitioner, I have witnessed the transformative power of using creative expression to spark inner peace. Poetry and storytelling have the unique ability to foster resilience, build confidence, and initiate meaningful personal growth. What began as a pursuit of academic knowledge has evolved into a fulfilling career grounded in self-healing, self-awareness, and creativity. My journey has taught me that healing is both a process and an art, a courageous act of turning pain into purpose through self compassion, creative expression, and empowerment. Now, the first, what I want to share, because we just picked up this, Michelle, what I'd like to share and ask you, in here, you said poetry and storytelling have the unique ability to foster resilience, build confidence, and initiate meaningful personal growth. Share with us, how does poetry and storytelling have that unique ability?
Right. So it gives us a chance, right, to when we're writing our story or even writing our poems, it gives us a chance to empty out our minds, right? All our thoughts and everything that's in our mind. We get to see it on paper. And also in the act of creating these things, we're conscious, so to speak, we're conscious on what we're doing. So that builds self-awareness, right? Because we're aware of the words that we're writing. We're aware of the thoughts that were in our head that is now on paper. So that's how poetry and storytelling can build self-reliance. I'm sorry, self-awareness, resilience, because you get to see what's inside now outside, if that makes sense.
Right.
The environment that's inside you, now have it on paper, and you can use it as a guide, as a mantra, as a roadmap, or even as directions on which way you want to go. Yes.
All right. And poetry and storytelling, or poetry, because we're writing, when we talk about poetry, you're talking about like the actual writing of the poetry.
Yes.
Like, okay. And when we're actually writing that poetry, could that be synonymous with journaling as I'm writing poetry, or is that different?
No, actually, well, okay, you went out for a minute. Dr. Nita, you still there? Okay. Actually,
Oh,
okay.
okay, now we got, yeah.
Okay, there you go. All right. So actually, it can be looked at both ways. A lot of times we look at journaling, okay, I'm just journaling and putting down my thoughts, which yes, in some sense of it, that is true. And poetry is like we're more constructing our words into some type of rhyme scheme. However, they can be interchangeable. I can take a journal and go in there and then put words into a rhyme scheme, even though I may not be trying to produce a poem, one may evolve. So yes, they can be interchangeable.
Okay,
My
cool.
personal opinion.
Okay, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. We value that. Absolutely. Okay. Now, in your journey narrative, sis, you indicated, you said that my journey has taught me that healing is both a process and an art. Can you share
Yes.
with us what you mean by that?
Yes. So when we're ready for healing, right? Whether we came to the decision on our own or some traumatic experience has expired, or we experienced some traumatic experience, um, the healing begins, right? We okay, now I want to heal. So that's the journey. The journey of it is that it's a process, meaning that it takes time, it takes willingness, right? It takes patience, because a lot of times you want, okay, I want to heal now, so tomorrow is the whole process should be done. No, but in the process of healing, we're learning, we're benefiting from mistakes, or I don't like to say lessons, but experiences, right? And then the art comes in when we learn how to use tools to help navigate whatever healing we're trying to accomplish or achieve. So that's where
Okay.
the journey and the art come in.
Art comes in. Okay, you mentioned tools. I'm so glad you did, because the last the sister share that we just had, you mentioned the tools, and I want to ask, because last time you mentioned it doesn't matter the different type of healing, substance abuse, childhood trauma, all types of things. There are, and I remember my question I was asking, does it depend on the type of healing that needs to occur, would be contingent upon the tools that we would use, or is it all just a template of tools that everyone can use?
No. So no, there isn't a cookie cutter approach. It's not a one tool fit all healing. So yes, depending on what type of healing you're trying to achieve, there's going to be specific tools, specific techniques, um, directions. So you find out what works for you and what works for your healing journey. We're all individuals, and we all have a personal healing journey. We may run into others that will help us, but it's still our personal journey. So no, it's not a one size fit all. Find out which tool, which technique works for you in your situation. So yes.
Okay. And those who are watching, I apologize. It did some kind of buzz. I don't know if it went to their
Yeah.
guys. It's apologize.
Yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned tools. This, can you give us like specific tools that we can? Oh, hey, Juliet, greetings to you, beautiful sister. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, can you give us a specific type of tool that we can use?
Yes, so I'll do anger management since that's
Mm-hmm.
one of my areas of expertise. So, like with anger management, one specific tool is self talk. What are you telling yourself? Because 99.999% of the time, our anger is escalated or de escalated by what we're telling ourselves, the thoughts we're having. Is it thoughts of revenge? Is it thoughts of, okay, let me take a deep breath and relax? So that's one or two. Monitor when you feel that feeling of anger. What am I telling myself? And another great tool
Uh-oh.
for
Wait.
anger is writing, the poetry writing or journal writing, getting all that stuff out of your head on paper and then looking at it and strategizing. Okay, this is how I can now navigate this feeling of anger. So, and then we
Yeah.
also have call a friend, find that friend. You want your friend, it could be a family member, but you want someone that's going to listen, right? Not someone that's going to egg you on and say, oh, I wouldn't take that. If I was you,
Right.
you want someone that's going to listen and allow you to talk out what you're going through. Yeah. So and
Right.
there's many, many more techniques, but those are some of the basics.
Okay, thank you, thank
Mhm.
you. Yes, and Juliet, bless your heart. She says, I am here and greetings from the UK. Bless your heart, beautiful sister. And
Oh,
happy International Women's Day to
yes.
you as well. Thank you. And it's good to see you. Bless your heart. Okay, now let me see. Because we talked about it before, because we talk about, we want to monitor our thoughts, we want to take an assessment and analyze. Now, are there steps though to go into stepping into like meditation? It takes practice to go into the meditation to clear your mind, to recognize our thoughts. My question is, do we need some type of assistance, like an anger management practitioner, to help us know when we need to, or when we need to monitor our thoughts and know how to monitor our thoughts?
So when it comes to knowing how, it has to be a self awareness thing, right? And it's even sometimes, unfortunately, it's usually when we're facing undesirable circumstances, right? We became angry and we responded to that anger aggressively, where we destroyed ourselves, someone else, relationships. And now we're in a place where we have to try to now figure it all out. And a lot
Uh-huh.
of times that's when we'll say, okay, I need to change, right? And then you start becoming aware, okay, this thought is usually produced when, I became angry and I know the end result. And then also, you might want to reach out when you do come to that place like, okay, I need to change my thoughts or to change my reactions to anger. Then it
Mhm.
might be time for me to reach out to a professional, whether it's an anger management specialist, a therapist, a coach, whatever else to help me now navigate these thoughts and feelings that I've had. But yes, so to answer your question, yes, some of us will on our own say, okay, wait, hold up. Let me change the way I'm thinking. Let me find out how to navigate this thing called anger. And then some of us need that help to, push us along the way.
get to that point. Yeah. Hi,
Mhm.
Kamal. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy International Women's Day to you too. She said it's so good to see you and Michelle. Can you see the comments, Michelle?
No, I can't, but
No, you can't.
hello,
Oh,
everyone.
okay. Right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with us, beautiful sister. Um, yeah, she's tapping to your peace part, tapping to your sister peace partner, and ESWP. Um, Going into that thought thing, like the energy, because we know everything is energy. I mean, you know what I mean? And thought is energy. So I know, like, I had to come. It took. I see the process of the steps that I took throughout my years coming to this point. However, I remember a time when I may have a negative thought and not even aware that I have it. So that's why. So what is it that we can do to begin to start saying, I want to become aware of what I'm thinking, and getting to the point that I know that my thinking is going to produce something outside. When do we get to that point of that particular self awareness?
Right. So again, we actually do when we become angry, and
Hmm.
before that anger escalate, there is a few seconds in our mind between the initial trigger and that response. But a lot of times, because we're so, it has become habitual for us to go straight into that rage, that we
Hmm.
override that. I'm not sure how many seconds, but there are a few seconds where we get to choose a different way to respond to our anger. So a lot of times when we get to that point, is usually, like I said before, when we're facing some undesirable circumstances, where we're sitting, God forbid, in a jail cell, or we lost our job or a relationship, or we tore property, and we come to ourselves like, okay, you know what? This has got to change. This
This
has
has
got to
got to
change.
change.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. Well, I want to ask you, sis. Okay, because with the anger, and we how we said everything is energy. Now, the energy of anger, the vibration. Is there a difference between the vibration of being mad and angry?
Now, so, because you can be mad and still go to that intense rage, just like you can be angry and still go into that intense rage. So, my professional opinion, they're the same thing. Being mad or being angry, especially if the behavior is the same. So
Okay.
they're interchangeable. Now I can be,
Interchange.
because I can be angry and respond
Mm-hmm.
appropriately, and I can be mad and respond appropriately. Right?
Okay.
So again, you can feel the feeling of anger and being mad, but we have to control the behavior. That's what's problematic. Not anger in itself, because that's a part of your emotional makeup. It's the way
Right.
you respond once you are triggered with this, whatever triggered your anger, your feeling of anger.
Gotcha. Now, and the anger, because I've mentioned the vibration. So the anger and the mad, the vibration, is that a low vibration? Would you consider that low vibration, or how would you measure the vibration of the emotional experience of anger?
Right. So yes, it's a low vibration, but with an intense um, level, I guess is the way I can put it. Yes. So because high vibrations to me is like your joy, your love. That's vibrating high. When I'm
Okay.
angry and I'm expressing it inappropriately, that's a low vibration. Yes.
Okay. So as we had shared earlier, it's a low vibration, but the escalation is
Yes.
high. The escalation. Now,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah, and Kamal, bless you, and thank you, Kamal. She says, how does one handle simmering anger? One that is not apparent but is below the surface.
Right. So simmering anger is usually the reflect of repeated repeated thoughts. This happened, that happened, this continued to happen, and you're not addressing it. So anger, a lot of people think that if we suppress anger, it'll go away. But it doesn't. It does just what you said. It simmers, and then eventually it explodes. And it's usually at the wrong time to the wrong person. So when you become angry, if at all possible, it's best to deal with that anger right then and there. But you want to deal with the anger in a way that you're standing up for your rights, whatever you feel is right for you in that moment, but you're
Mhm.
doing it in a way where you're not violating anyone else's rights. So you're doing it being assertive, like I am angry because blah blah blah. Not you made me angry and I'm gonna get you back. Right? So that's how you deal with simmering anger. You have to release it because all simmering anger is anger that was not addressed in the moment.
Okay. All right. I hope did that answer your question, Kamal? Okay, I think so. Now you indicate you have to release it. Now, and Deborah, hi Deborah, welcome sister, bless her. She said, control the behavior, powerful. Yes, I want to thank you, Michelle. It resonates. Thank you so much. Okay, now
Thank
you
you.
mentioned releasing. Now, we have to be careful in how we release things, right? Because road rage, all that kind of stuff. So how can we get to a point of become self-aware that we know? Yeah, because earlier, okay, I hope I'm not going to be confusing. Earlier, you mentioned as far as like responding. So when we're in that anger moment, and we respond or react, what we're doing is we're responding. Are we responding to a trigger?
Okay, right. So what happens? Yes, we all have them. We all have those things that we know. No matter what, if this happened, I'm going to get angry because what my thoughts and beliefs are about that situation produce anger in me. So it's not the situation or the
Okay.
person; it's my thoughts and belief around it. So
Oh,
when I become angry, whatever my anger trigger is, when that happens, because of my beliefs and thoughts about it, it produces the feeling of anger. Now and that moment, the way I respond is pivotal. So I must respond in a way that is appropriate, right? So if say
mhm.
say lying is a trigger for you, and someone lying, you know they lie. You found out they lying, you just know, and you know that whatever your beliefs and thoughts, your belief might be you're a liar, can be a cheater, no matter they can't be trusted. So when someone does that, that feeds into your belief system. So now you approach that person. I'm angry because, or I'm upset. I found out you lied. I don't
Mhm.
appreciate that you lied to me. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever other words you want to use. But you don't want to approach them. You lied and you're no good and you're stupid. And, now you're fighting the person because what a person's going to do, knowing they are wrong, they're going to defend their wrongness. If you're
Oh,
aggressive, they're going to defend themselves. Self-preservation to kick in, and they'll come back at you the same way. Now,
oh,
do I say that if you're appropriate? I mean, if you respond to anger appropriately, that you guarantee that the other person will respond as well? No, because we
mhm.
have no control over them. You only have absolute control over yourself. That's it.
That's
So,
it.
right. So you don't concentrate on what their response is going to be. You just pay attention to your response because
Oh,
what you're trying to do is regulate yourself. Make sure
right.
you are responding appropriately because we don't understand too anger when it's sizzles and sits or when we always angry or we always in that intense rage. It causes internal damage as well. High blood
Absolutely.
pressure, nervous system,
That
elevated.
energy.
Yes,
Energy.
absolutely, absolutely,
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah, because you say, yeah, okay, what brought to me is always going to bring back to me. It ain't the thing, it's how you look at it. I mean,
absolutely,
what I mean? That's always going to come back to me. Now,
absolutely.
Juliet, she just said, Dr. Nita, we need to look at issues of depression, stress, and usually these are triggered with different things. We need to look at issues of environment, employment, housing, racism, and barriers, and institutions, systemic racism that are faced with underrepresented communities, and etc. Okay. Wait. Okay. So that was a lot right there. Thank you, Juliet. So with that, um, yeah, because that's another question that we addressed in the last one. Um, is there a is there a correlation between anger and depression?
I would have to say yes, there is. Um, anger, anger can produce depression if, when you become angry, you don't respond appropriately. You sit there and let it fester. you come, your mind or your self-talk is, woe with me, everybody hates me, it always happens to me, I'm bad luck, and so forth and so on. It can produce the feeling of depression. And then also on what she said about the other things, the environmental thing, a lot of stuff is like you said, Dr. Nita, it's not the thing, but it's the way you look at it. Does some of that stuff exist? Absolutely. I had a friend who told me, she's like, I don't believe in racism. Like, what do you mean? Racism exists. She said, I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but because I don't respond to it, it doesn't affect me. And so that's how I had to start looking at a lot of stuff. Okay, if I don't respond to it, meaning I don't see when someone does something, oh, that was racism. Or if someone, oh, that was them out to get me. Or that was them, if I don't look at it that way, just look at it, okay, this is a person that's hiding behind fear, then I become more compassionate, and it leaves me, me in a more peaceful state. I hope that made, you understand?
It made a lot of sense, because what I was hearing, because these are all important issues here. I mean,
Yes.
and it reminded me of environment, employment, racism, housing, barriers. What brought to me was that logotherapy, Viktor Frankl, when he was in the concentration camp, and he said, wherever you are, there's something in you there's a part in you, that perfection, that God in us, that we can tap into, that's not affected, because spirit's not affected by all this mundane of the world. Our soul, yes, but not spirit.
That's
So as far as like with the issues of the environment, employment, what you said, what she said, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, and that's where I'm going. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. What I'm saying is I'm not going to let it affect the energy within me, because the energy, just like I tap into you every second Monday, the energy within us is going to flow out into the energy of the earth. And as more as I am reacting and resonating with the vibration of racism, the less I am keeping myself away, and the community as a collective, from global peace. And I do see, Julia, she said, racism should never be silenced in any society, and more awareness is needed. It creates trauma. It really does, Julia. Racism, it should never be silenced. But there's like Michelle, she's an anger management practitioner specialist. What she says, though, is that it's, what we have to do is start turning around and dealing with it, where we are able to subjugate it, where we are able to try to eliminate it. Hate is not going to.
It's not going to do it. No,
it's not going to do it.
No.
And what we can have all kind of marches, we can have all kind of different things with stuff. But energy is energy. The most powerful energy is what is inside of us. And if we like Mother Teresa, they say, hey, I want you to come to an anti-war rally. She said, no, I'm not going to, thank you for that. But when you have a peace rally, you invite me and I'll be there. It's all about how we are dealing with it. But absolutely, racism should never be silenced. But it's a way we can speak on it, and it's a way that we can not let it damage our physiological anatomy, and also, more importantly, that energy. Kamal says, shift the energy. Yes.
Yes.
The energy.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. So anyway. Okay. Yeah. I just want. Yeah. So thank you for that, Juliet. Absolutely, those.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. Michelle. Let me see. You mentioned about poetry, because what is it? 134. We're gonna have to come back, because you mentioned about poetry therapy, and how writing and everything, and I mentioned it at the other one, and how I just found out about sacred writing, and that sacred writing is a self reprogramming practice that's in script, and I was sharing with you, asking what your take on it, as far as printing like something in poetry, or actually scripting it, because it was saying, what I learned is that when you write in script, you're flowing with the energy. And what's your take on that?
I would have to agree. And like I said, right now my knowledge is limited to that. This is something, new that I'm learning about, but I would have to wholeheartedly agree because, like you shared with me earlier, because when we're doing script, when the pen is not leaving the page, so there's a constant flow. So I would have to say absolutely that will condition. I believe is the word was used. Self condition your mind for awareness, what you're doing. Yeah, yes. So I would have to agree. Yes.
Okay, and I asked before too. Is there is there such a thing as bad anger and good anger?
Okay, no, anger is just anger, right? But I
Okay,
guess people would consider bad anger, I guess, when you're responding aggressively, but that's not the anger, that's the behavior. So then, and then, like the example we used earlier, where you say, okay, I see a child being abused and I'm angry, but then it propels me or provoked me into now becoming an advocate for children. So I guess some people would say that was good anger, but it's not the anger. Anger is just anger, the behavior behind it, that's what's either going to be good, quote unquote, or bad, quote unquote. But anger is just a part of our emotional makeup, like happiness, joy, peace, sadness. It's just part of our, and it's actually used as a defense mechanism, for pain, stress. But it's all the way we balance it and respond to it.
right. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Julia said a beautiful shift of energy. Come on, she said that is something new I learned today. Sacred writing. Okay, so yeah, this is so cool.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. So now, Michelle, um, can anger or the can anger or the awareness of us being angry, can that help us learn more about ourselves?
absolutely, absolutely. Because then, especially with anger, when you'll start learning what triggers you, and then you'll pay attention to what your belief is about that trigger. Because with triggers, you have two things, right? Two options. One, you could get rid of the trigger, decide, okay, I'm not going to believe that anymore. Or the second one, be like, no, I'm not getting rid of it. I don't like people lying to me. All right. So if that's the case, when that happens, what do I have in play where I can express my anger appropriately? Is it, am I going to talk myself out of it? Or like, how are we going to do this now? The person lied. So how are we going to approach this where it's peaceful? Or am I going to call a friend? Am I going to write? Go down into the journal or the script. What do you say? Script writing. So you have to
Sacred.
have, yeah, sacred script. So you have to have something in place. So yes, you can become self-aware because you'll see how you respond and what your beliefs are about, these triggers.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. And now you mentioned earlier like as far as the release, and we didn't get really into that. What um how do we learn how to release anger as well? Because like now we got a lot of people talk about road rage. That's a
Mhm.
releasing of that anger. We know that's not
Not
that's not good.
right.
How do we learn? How do we learn how to release our anger where it's not going to be harmful to us and others?
Another right. So there's many ways. There you have your traditional ways. Taking anger management classes, um, talk therapy, reading books. Usually give you directions on how to release or like what I use the word release, but I should have said respond, how to
Oh,
respond to anger, right? And not so much release it. And then also it all goes down to our thoughts. It all and what our beliefs are about what just happened. Because even with road rage, a lot of times when someone cut us off, our thoughts is it might be they're disrespectful. Who they think they are? How dare they do that? I'm in a rush too. So now, and now you go into the revengeful thoughts. I got to get them back. How dare them? Exactly. So, and if we understand why, why am I so enraged that this person cut me off? What is the belief behind that? Right?
right,
They might be running to the hospital. Maybe they got to go pee. Who knows? Why they're
right,
cutting you?
right,
Why they're
right,
cutting us off? But yeah, one of the
right.
ways, like I said, either traditional ways or just start paying attention to your thoughts. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, Okay, yeah. So, oh gosh, you just said something. I was gonna. It was when you said the road rage and shoot, it went right out of my head. I should have raised my hand to say, okay, let me.
That's
I
okay.
yeah, it was no. I was just thinking about some of what you had just said regarding the anger. Okay, it flew out. It's gone.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
okay.
Oh, we got 7 people. Yay! Thank you. I got some hearts here. Okay, we're almost just about done. Okay, so it's
Okay.
1:40. Michelle, what I'd like for you to do is please share about your book, where people can get your book, and any upcoming projects that you're working on, and all that good stuff.
Yes. All right. So my book is Love Unleashed. It can be found on Amazon. It's I call it a non-fictional fictional. So it's about experiences in my life, and and I add a little, fictional ambiance to it. And then also I have a book coming out this summer. It's projected to come out this summer, and it's called The Poetry of You, and it's crafting poetries and prose for self understanding, self awareness, and self transformation. And it's sort of I took it, it's adapted like the our poetry therapy, the writing circle, excuse me, that we have where we have the poems, have the writing prompts, and then the reflection questions. So the book is going to pretty much like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love, yes, come on, say congratulations, Michelle. And
Thank you.
hey, Dr. Latasha, welcome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for joining us, sisters. Yeah, and I mean, I really get so much from the writing circle. I mean, there are times where I can look at something after I've written and say, wow, I didn't know that was in me. And I'm going to ask the same question I asked before at the other one. Is there a time where the writing circle could be contraindicated?
Yes. Yes, that's why there should be a disclaimer, because sometimes when you're writing, you may tap into old memories, old hurts, or present memories or hurts. And if that happens, by all means, I stop. Just stop writing, put the pen down, take a deep breath so you can initiate that relaxation response within your body. And I would suggest that you reach out to a mental health professional, but do not continue to write, because the writing poetry wellness is about the here, now, and going forward. Therapy is about what happened in the past.
Right.
Let's try to, heal that and come forward. So if any time when you're writing, those emotions overwhelm you, yes, by all means, yes, stop writing. Don't continue, excuse yourself out of the room. And I would, suggest seek a mental health professional.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Juliet, bless her. She said, a quote, Love and Live is a nice title for a book. And she said, congratulations.
Thank-
Thank you,
yeah.
Juliet. Come on, said, absolutely awesome. Now, I want to talk about, because I almost forgot, I want to talk about your poetry healing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So yes, so I do workshops, and what it is, just like I said, the poetry healing. It's with poems. We present poems. You read the poems, and it's not about trying to figure out what the poet meant or anything like that. When we read the poems, you pay attention to how you are reacting to the poem, what emotions are coming up, and then we give you writing prompts, and then you take the writing prompts and you write what however your hand leads you, whatever thoughts. Trust the thoughts that are coming up, knowing that this is what's meant, to be put on paper. And then we have, where we share with each other, we support each other, and then we have the reflection questions. Yeah, and it's amazing experience.
Yeah,
I enjoy
I do
it.
too. Yeah, I do too. I really do. Well, Michelle, we are, yes, 1:44. So what I want
Yeah.
to do, if you would share with us where people can get in touch with you, if you have a phone number, and share your website.
Okay. Yes. My website is anger management pathways. That's what an S.com. So again, it's www.angermanagementpathways.com. And the phone number is 1-877-345-6275. Again, that's 1-877-345-6275. And we do workshops, poetry therapy workshops as well as anger management workshops for organizations, social groups, community organizations, schools. So, yes.
Okay, that's
Did I miss
beautiful.
anything?
I know, I don't think so. Just say share that number one more time for us.
Sure. 1-877-345-6275.
Okay, and we have Michelle at info. I'm sorry, email info@angermanagementpathways.com. www.angermanagementpathways.com. Well, Michelle, I want to thank you so much. And Julia,
Thanks for
she said a
having me.
few years ago, I addressed issues of vibration. I did this by way of my Facebook page. Bless your heart.
Thank
Congratulations,
you.
Julia. Now,
Yeah.
what I want to say, congratulations to you, Michelle, for being a poetry therapy practitioner. How many
Thank
years
you.
has it been? 3 years?
3 years. It was a 3-year program.
Yeah, so while
And
we're
I
closing
forgot.
out, you guys, if y'all can show her some love, that would be
Thank you.
so wonderful.
Thank you.
Just
Thank you.
show, and as you guys are doing that, oh, you are so welcome. Come on. As you guys are doing that, just want to share with you guys. I'm Anita. I'm a energy principal practitioner, metaphysical coach, and consultant specializing in self-awareness and inner peace. This is the Awareness Shift, the Energy Exchange podcast, where we elevate our energy and transform our lives together, one beautiful moment at a time. The Awareness Shift also has a universal pulse. I haven't put it out yet, but I'll put it out. Every Sunday, the universal pulse is a weekly vibration of the upcoming week, the vibration of the upcoming week. And then we also have Beyond the Mirror Insights, which will be tomorrow, because that's every other Monday that I published Beyond the Mirror Insights. Talk about the last one was living versus living a lifestyle. These are things that we don't normally think about, but they're very, it really deals with the self-awareness kind of thing. And then there's every Thursday at 6:30 a.m. EST, there's the Awareness Shift Love Live, Dr. Carmen did it. Love Live at 6:30 a.m. These are reading and reflection. I alternate for 15 minutes. One time we'll do excerpts of you, YOU, your own universe, and then alternate with poetry, reflections of an angel, because we're all angels of the universe and our reflections are one. But it's all about self-awareness and deepening our inner peace, so that ultimately we will, because I do believe, I know as far as those type of two peace partners, we believe there is such a thing as universal global peace. We just gotta come, hey, let there be peace, let it begin with me. I think that's all. The awareness, I got to plug the Awareness Shift, universal pulse, Beyond the Mirror Insight. There's something else though. The one live, the transforming thing. Okay, so I think that's it. All right, so I just wanted to share all that. So we know that the journey, we know that the journey of self-recovery is absolutely beautiful, and I hope you know So Beautiful, both he and she, so are you. What we are doing, we are touching on that trust and tapping into you. And as you tap into you, I tap into me. We all tap into we, because as Deborah knows, we said all the time, it is one love, one energy, and all we got to do is just tap into each other with reverence and respect, and it's all in power. And thank you, Juliet. So thank you, Dr. Anita Michelle, for a good weekend. Bless your heart.
Thank you. Bless your
Thank
heart.
you. Absolutely. Thank you for
Yes.
coming on, and all of you. Thank you for sharing your beautiful
Yes.
energy with us. Michelle, we are going to have to do this again, because I did have other things, questions. I love this. I love the engagement. These questions I had,
Yes.
answer them because of the engagement. That's what I'm
Engagement.
talking.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
it. I love it.
Love
All
it.
right. So thank you again, you
Bye,
guys.
everyone.
Yeah. Okay. So have a great rest of the week, and look out for the Universal Post. It's gonna be up. It's gonna be posted in a minute on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever I can get that rascal on. All right. I love you. I love you.
Bye.
Okay, we gotta do. Hold on, y'all, because this is new. Oh, she left out of there for me. I didn't want her to leave, but okay. Let's see here. All right.